Already start? Except I don't have my agenda pulled up. Do you? Oh, thank
You
you.
can use mine.
I would like to start with a roll call, please.
Chairperson Montague,
Yes.
Commissioners Clark,
Here.
here, Lisk,
Here.
Nelson,
Here,
and Petroselli.
Present.
Commissioner Myers is not here, he's absent.
Thank you. First order of business is a public hearing for ordinance number 01/2025. I guess that means it's the first one of the year. Amending section 7-4 zoning regulations and section 8-4 short-term rentals of the Ridgway Municipal Code relating to short-term rental regulations and licenses. Great, thanks.
Okay. Let me figure out how to, there we go. So ordinance 2025-01 is regarding amendments to short-term rental regulations and licensing. These changes were prompted by an update to the Ridgway Municipal Code regarding accessory dwelling units. Short-term rentals are addressed in two distinct sections of the code. So in chapter 7 and in chapter 8, we needed to make that clear in the update. So we reorganized and cleaned up sections of the code that needed it, and I'll cover the changes throughout my presentation. So just a quick reminder, this is a public hearing item. So I wanted to show the process again. It's been a minute. Let's get this over.
Did you pick a cookie, Jack?
Not right now. Probably.
So if approved here, the ordinance will be introduced at the town council meeting in March. And it can be adopted at a second reading at the April town council meeting. I think that's right, but possibly. Is it possible that we could get it on February? For town council? I don't know, I'm realizing that might be wrong. Yeah, the noticing could be tight, okay.
I think March is in there too.
Yeah, because there's the introduction and then there's the adoption at
I see.
second reading. So this section addresses the short-term rental regulations in chapter 7. It's under supplemental regulations in the zoning regulations section. So it's very nested within the code. So I just included all the red lines because this is a pretty short section. We have a reference to an old code section that was fixed. We also added the downtown service district as to give flexibility and allow short-term rentals in multifamily buildings in this zone. We also clarified that the accessory dwelling unit updates, we aligned it with the accessory dwelling unit updates by changing it to multiple dwelling units instead of a reference to 2 in the case that maybe there's multiple. And because ADUs can be attached or detached, changing the reference to from structures to dwelling units when discussing owner occupancy was made. And then this is just showing you where the downtown service district is. It's the dark blue. So under performance standards, we moved the red line sections that are shown over to chapter 8, section 5, which we'll see on a later slide. So none of that language was changed, it's just moved. So for chapter 8 licensing, this received some edits and we clarified whether we're talking about a room or a bedroom or a unit. Going back to the discussion about enforcement of unlicensed short-term rentals, this section requires that the license number is displayed prominently with any listing or advertisement of the unit. This has always been required, but our edits might make it read a little bit better. And then the license fee section is referring to the fees enacted by town council via resolution, so no changes are necessary here. In 853, the subsection is now called license administration. It was called supplemental regulations, which was really confusing because there was another subsection of 7 called supplemental regulations that talked about this.
Right.
So this is also where the performance standards from the previous section were moved to. So that's what you see down on E and F. And then in 854, we added a bit of a warning note that if a license is revoked, that it would require a new license, which might not be available at the time. So this is a text amendment process in our code. So the text amendment approval criteria are here before you. The criteria are if it's consistent with the intent of the applicable portions of the master plan, if it's to correct an omission or an error in the code. The one that stands out here is the proposed text amendment is necessary to adapt to change in conditions within the town related to ADUs. Changes in public policy are needed to advance the general welfare of the town. So with that, here's my recommended motion, but I also have a brief update on administration of the short-term rental program after the public hearing.
Okay.
Thank you.
I believe I will ask if anybody has any questions on this. Do it, right? It's a public hearing, so I have to open it up.
Yep.
Yes.
Anybody on the planning commission have anything?
I had one question on it, and I thought we had capped the units in the multifamily to 3, and here it says 5, and I wonder if I just remembered that wrong.
I couldn't remember for sure.
I remembered 3, but it's possible I remember it wrong. I read through here all through it, and I kept saying, I thought we capped these, and I finally found it at the end, and it was capped at 5,
Yep.
and I remembered 3, but that doesn't mean I remember 3. So I wanted to just kind of bring that up. I think 5 in a multifamily unit's a lot. That's my opinion.
Can we?
Yeah, it would just be in those 3 districts. So
Right,
general
but-
commercial, downtown service, and historic business.
And they're in a mixed-use building, I believe, only. And I think 5 short-term rentals in mixed-use buildings, a lot of units.
How many units are in the mixed use building?
Doesn't count, because you know how big it is.
Yeah, so if the building only has 5 units, they get all the short term.
Right, I could read it wrong, and I apologize if I did, but if, let's say we had a 10,000 square foot building that, on the other side of the highway that had offices and had 5 small 400 square foot apartments, they all could be short-term rentals. And I think I was saying to myself, that's like a little hotel,
Mhm.
you know, and I'm not sure that that's wrong. It's just the thought I was going through, but I think a little hotel should be a little hotel, not a mixed-use building with a bunch of short-term rentals in it.
So do you think it should be like a percentage?
I think it should, I thought we capped it at 3 and I didn't go back to check it.
I was trying to find where we discussed this at all, and I couldn't. find it.
And I'm not trying.
Sometime in 2017, but it's capped at 5.
And it's capped at 5 in the original ordinance.
Yeah, I just copied and pasted
Right.
everything over that's not redlined then.
So that's the thing. I think it's been that way since we allowed church rentals, and that kind of stood out to me too. I was thinking maybe we should reduce that.
I think it's a lot, but I mean, I don't want to be a cog in the wheel here. We could revisit it if it becomes a problem, you know, I'm in favor of that too, so. It just seems like a big old building, like say the Remax building or something that size. If they had 5 short-term rentals, that seems like a lot.
Mhm. There'd have to be 5 licenses available.
Well, yeah,
And that's a funny example, because I think that wouldn't necessarily be a negative there, because the impacts would be pretty minimal. There's no other residents around. You know, I guess it's so much of the short-term rental debate revolves around, is it giving undue advantage to people doing short-term rentals as opposed to someone who has a lodging facility who has a whole lot more expenses and regulations to deal with, and like you say, this could turn something like the Remax with 5 apartments into a motel. And do we want to allow that? Or I don't know.
I think I'm gonna change my opinion here. So I just wanted to talk it through. My concern about short-term rental is the impact it has on a neighborhood. And a mixed-use building is probably not gonna be in a neighborhood. So, I've seen the short-term rentals have large impact in my neighborhood because of parking. So I think my concern about 5 units is not well suited because that building's not gonna be in Solar Ranch or River Park or Parkside or in a residential neighborhood where my concern is.
That's a good point. And if it's been in there since the beginning anyway, it hasn't been a problem.
Does that building yet exist? No.
I have a question.
It might. Go ahead.
How many licenses, short-term licenses do we have there?
50.
No, I know that's.
I think it's
capped at
45 and 47.
Well, so,
There's a few.
We know how many.
yeah,
it's
there's
42.
a few.
5 open right now.
Yeah,
There's 5 left available and the number is somewhere between 40 and 50.
I can look it up, it's on the website.
that's fine.
It's fine. It's somewhat capped by the fact that there's only 5.
Angie thinks it's 8, but yeah, your point's the same pretty much.
My whole concern is in the neighborhood. So if it's in a mixed-use building, that kind of covers my concern.
You have any thoughts, Preston?
No, the property owner occupancy requirement would still be there with the max of 5 units in the building. Property owner would have to build.
Not for those 3 zones.
Not in GC.
That's right,
Do you see?
And that's just how it is currently.
right.
Right, okay, gotcha.
I mean, the whole what if I was playing in my mind was a new GC building.
Yeah, if you want me to go back to that section or anything, let me know.
I don't think we have to. I mean, I'm comfortable with it now. When I read it at first, it just jumped out at me.
Okay.
Anyone else on the planning commission have anything?
I have one comment, under E, where the new red paragraph got moved.
Yeah.
An owner's agent available within 20 minutes. I think we've been trying to encourage that it's the owner's responsibility and it's only an agent if the owner is like out of town for whatever reason. So to me, this just allows the owner to go, oh, I can just default to an agent. But I thought,
Yeah.
what I think I understand is we're trying to really make the owner responsible and
Yeah.
accountable.
In some of the cases, the owner is the owner's agent if they have like another unit that they can live in on site or something like that. But we needed them to list somebody as the owner's agent for when they're not.
Or when they're not,
Yes.
right? And
So some people say they're their own agent on their application and we have that on file.
but are they allowed to just say, oh, well, I live here, but my property manager is gonna actually be.
They're
We
allowed
didn't-
to,
we
yeah.
weren't- Yeah, we weren't, I don't think we decided to rule against that. What we decided on was that we were gonna keep it at 20 minutes and not extend it to 30, because then it opens it up to Montrose. And what we identified is there aren't any current property management companies within 20 minutes, so it would have to be either the owner or an individual, and that's why we kept it at 20 minutes.
I remember
But
that.
I don't
Right.
remember saying that we were gonna not allow an agent.
No, I wasn't saying not allow them, but thank you for reminding me of that. Yeah, we're just trying to keep the onus on the owner. Thank you. I'm fine.
Yeah.
Anyone else on there? Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna reiterate that I think that's okay. I think it'd be tough for us to somehow add wording that prioritizes the owner being the owner's rep. But the 20-minute thing.
Which is what I want to avoid, like over enforcing, and then we don't have the ability to enforce it anyway.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Anyone else on the commission have anything on that? Anyone on, Jennifer, you have anything?
No, I thought everything looked great.
Great. Do we have any public, on Zoom?
No.
And Preston, are you here in an official capacity or as the public? Do you have anything?
No, ma'am.
I think I still technically open it to public comment, but there doesn't
Yeah.
seem to be any public. So we'll wait a moment. And I will now close public comment. And I believe I'm now ready for a motion, which is on the screen.
I move to recommend approval of the proposed ordinance 01-2025 that amends the Ridgway Municipal Code Section 7-46N, short-term rental regulations, Section 8.5, short-term rentals, finding that the proposed changes meet the text amendment approval criteria.
Second,
John seconded it. I guess we need a roll call vote because we do have someone who's on Zoom.
Chairperson Montague,
Yes,
Commissioner Clark, you know, and made a motion. Commissioner Lisk,
Aye.
Commissioner Nelson,
Aye.
and Commissioner Petroselli.
Aye.
and Foister.
Aye, she made the motion.
I think.
Oh, you still do.
our
Okay.
process is still.
Sorry, Commissioner Kester. Aye.
Be funny if you voted against your own motion.
Yeah,
You could though.
it's my other person.
Thanks, John.
That'd be very confusing.
I don't know that I've ever seen it, but it's not impossible to imagine.
I've seen it several times, someone makes a motion and votes against it.
Angie, you said you had more on this?
I just have a couple of updates
And
based
I
on.
think
what
you
we-
sent us out a letter that showed the letter that went out to everyone about listing your license number prominently.
Yeah, I didn't share that with the commission, but there's
Oh.
that's, I'm gonna cover that in a second.
Sorry,
But
I
that's
thought it went
okay.
to everybody. I didn't mean to
Because you're a license holder.
steal your thunder. Not
Um,
yet.
Not
In
yet?
process.
You didn't get your inspection done yet?
I don't need one, it turns out,
Oh,
but I
right.
do need to
That's
apply for sales tax license,
Oh,
which I have
okay,
not
yes,
done
yes,
yet.
yes. Okay, yours is on Karen's desk, gotcha.
I have a room in my house that I plan, that I may someday short term. It's been more fun putting it together than actually doing it. So we'll see. It's a lock
Well,
off,
you're
but
included on the list.
Wait, you
Thank
have a
you.
tenant, you like it even less.
yeah, that's my fear.
All right, so in our work session, a lot of concerns came up about possible unlicensed short-term rentals. I haven't received any complaints since I've been here. I haven't been here that long, but when we do get those, we'll give them adequate attention. So staff has been reviewing the short-term rentals that are listed online. But I did a review as well. I considered Airbnb, Vrbo, Home to Go, Evolve Rentals, and Vacation Rental Collective. We found that all of the active listings have a license, or in one of the cases, it was only listed as a long-term stay, so over 31 days. And then, there were 2 properties that had inactive listings, which had inactive licenses. So they were licensed at one point, created the listing, turned it off or whatever you do to make it unavailable for booking, but the listing's still like floating around on the internet. So they're obviously very aware of the process and that there's licenses that are required. And then a letter did go to license holders. It went out yesterday and it just reminded them to list their license number with any advertisement of the unit, because I noticed most of them didn't have that. We also added that we're gonna conduct a bit of an audit, which is just, you know, a review of the same things, on February 10th. So hopefully that prompts them to make the update quickly. And, if they're not updated, when I look at all those, I'll contact the listing agent or the owner directly. And then a complete list of the active short-term rentals, that was sent to SGM, who's our GIS consultant, to map for us. And then, I'm updating the application and other short-term rental onboarding materials. Like Karen has a couple of letters that go out. If someone expresses interest, she has like a letter that explains everything that they need. I'm just updating that letter mostly to change it to me as the contact instead of Karen, because she's retiring. And there's just a couple of other little things I might add, the note about displaying the license number in the listing. And finally, we are conducting a review of other short-term rental programs to see if our license fees are adequate.
Great.
Sounds very comprehensive. Thank you.
Welcome. That's it. Sorry I don't have really anything for affordable housing right now. We'll talk about it the next meeting.
It's waiting review.
I thought this was gonna be a real long.
Legal
meeting.
counsel.
Yeah.
You did? You looked at the agenda. I was like,
I took a nap.
I read the minutes of everything and I'm like, that's it.
I took a nap preparing for.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought at least somebody would show up.
I didn't. So the only other thing on the agenda is I need a motion to approve last earlier this month, I believe.
Yeah.
Minutes.
January 7th.
And remember to recuse yourself if you weren't here. I can't remember if everyone was here.
I read them.
You moved to approve them?
Yeah.
Second.
John beat you.
Ah,
John?
John.
I
And
thought Bill beat me, but.
sorry,
Come on.
roll call on that.
Chairperson Montague,
Yes.
Commissioner Clark,
Aye.
Commissioner Foister. Aye. Commissioner List,
Aye.
Commissioner Nelson,
Aye.
and Commissioner Petroselli.
Yes, ma'am.
That's it on the agenda, I believe, not looking at it. Do we
Just
have anything
updates.
else? You got anything? Oh, we wanted to talk about our, we're changing, we talked about it at the last meeting this month, earlier, that we're gonna change our meeting to the third Wednesday of the month, which would be the Wednesday following the town council meeting, because I believe they're the second Wednesday. And the change to Wednesday was to help free up, I can't ever think of their number. Their name.
CPS.
I always laugh at their logo because it's the antiquated, GPS. CPS, and that's for the Wednesday, and then the idea of it being a little sooner is that maybe some simple applications that have everything in could get approved and then go to council at the following meeting, but I've been told that that is a rare occurrence, that usually there's something outstanding that would hold it up, but at least it makes it a possibility.
Okay.
So that's our plan, and I believe the next meeting will therefore be February 19th.
Yes.
Is that right? So it won't interfere with Valentine's Day, Jack.
All's concerned,
I
baby.
know.
All's concerned.
Do we have any other updates?
I don't think so.
That might be the quickest meeting ever.
True.
I can't believe you took a nap.
28 minutes.
Yeah.
Dang.
Is there anything coming our way?
As far as like a public hearing item or
Education?
development.
Action items.
Let's
Mine's coming.
see,
Mine's-
It's just
We-
weird to be this.
we do have should I mention the Dolmany stuff? Like you guys went through the annexation, now there's gonna be a sketch plan and preliminary plat coming through. Pretty soon,
For
we're in the
preserve?
referral period right now.
This is for the preserve.
Yes, but it's just the section that was annexed to catch it up to the preserve, because the preserve has an existing preliminary plat approval. So that'll be coming down the pipeline. There are quite a few pre-application meeting requests that we've gotten recently, so there's probably gonna be some activity in this room. I wanted you to have a nice, easy one before we.
I mean, there really haven't been any applications in a couple of years to speak of.
Since the moratorium.
Yeah,
Well, with.
well,
we
it
had no-
coincided with interest
James.
rates.
Yeah,
Well, a lot split is hardly that was pretty easy.
well, it's 3 lots. It's more than a lot.
We also had a lot combination.
Well, we need to go drum up some business.
I think everyone hoped to see development slow down, and lo and behold, development slowed down.
Dang.
Eventually, it's gonna pick back up.
It's gonna, well, because the property over by Remax is, I mean, it has owners.
Yeah,
But we haven't heard it. I know they're looking at developing it.
they came with a presentation that we
New
did not
owners.
approve.
New owners,
It's sold.
Which one by Remax?
the big,
The one right behind Remax?
yeah,
The 8 acre there?
Yeah.
Rob Hunter doesn't own it
Lot
anymore.
3.
Yeah, I've turned it, I mean, I spoke publicly against that for residential houses.
so did I.
Yeah, so I hope they're not bringing
My
residential houses.
understanding is it's sold.
Interesting.
I think Hunter sold it, we're on record.
Anyways, I will adjourn this meeting. Done.
Save my ass. That's what I told every-
Still on.